To get us started, I'll use this quote from Corey Bush, which says, "Many of us do not choose to become activists. Instead, we are activated." And so, what are some things that activated you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm actually somewhat revisiting it, outside of this conversation because I'm working on my new season for my podcast and I'll give you all a little bit of an insight. The episode that I'm currently finalizing is one where I talk about how anger can help us access joy.
Mm,
And one of the things I talk about in there is that my gifted self-discovery journey was in part about looking at the things that were making me angry, the things that I was scared of, the things that I felt deeply pained by, and going in there and investigating on a whole new level, like what's really happening here? Because outside of these things, I'm in a really good space, but these things for some reason are really challenging. And so I 100% was not looking for giftedness when I found it. I was just looking to improve my relationships, improve my career, because I just felt like in all these cases, I was hitting this like ceiling that I couldn't get past. And so through that investigation, you know, I joked that like, my therapist, I kept talking about, again, all these things I was discovering about understanding other people, which is something I'm really, really good at. But he just kept holding up a mirror and saying, okay, that's cool. They're hurt, but like, who is also hurt? And at first, I'm like, I came to finally be able to see myself in the mirror and realize I
mm,
was hurt. I wasn't acknowledging myself, my brilliance, my need for depth and complexity, my need for, all these things that I before was like beating myself down about, or that I was allowing other people to put on me, to project on me, and then I was internalizing completely flipped. Because just for example, you know, talking about even my level of empathy before it was this thing of you're too sensitive. And that was, what do you mean? How can I be too sensitive?
right.
Why is that? But instead of it never turned into an actual answer to that question, what it became was, oh, wait, I have a level of insight that most people don't.
Mm,
And if that is true, that gives me access to, and this is the cape, right? This gives me access to when certain people walk into a room, I already know something's up and I can check in on them, right? I'm somebody who can deliver a level of care and safety, right? And compassion that is extraordinary, right? And the kryptonite is also sometimes because people don't necessarily have the capacity or some people don't have the ability to sit with those emotions, either mine or theirs.
mm,
It can be something that can rub people the wrong way because they're trying to push you back. Oh, I can't deal with that. And so being able to have that clarity activated me to say, one, this is going to transform my life. And then I realized, wait a second, if I went 41 years of my life without knowing this, how many other people out there are challenged in their relationships, challenged in their career, challenged in their life that have absolutely no idea? I need to be out here helping to, pull back that veil
mm,
for people and doing it again, not because again, if you had told me, it's not like the first time I heard the word gifted, right? But in humanizing the experience, all of a sudden it went from, oh, you have to be the person who is, you know, Nobel Peace Prize or, the prize winning scientist or whatever.
yeah.
You've got to have all the accolades, all the titles to there's a depth and complexity and a curiosity. There's a way of being that's there that resonates with me. The last thing I'll say very quickly is it was when I was reading a book called Living with Intensity that the floodgates ripped open. Because again, at the time I wasn't looking for giftedness, but when the book was talking about these intense experiences or, what they call overexcitabilities, and you all can check out the book on the side. I'd advise it if you're at least neuro curious. But talking about these excitabilities, it was like, yo, did you have a camera in my house? Like, what's going on? Right? So that is where, again, these humanizing experiences broke it open. And so that's my goal, is to continue to do that for others.
Yeah, to do that for other people. I liked in your story, you did some reframing too. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
so at some instances hearing like too sensitive, but then also, wait a minute, that means I have insight, you know? What are some
Mhm.
things that helped you to be able to do that reframe? Because I'm listening
Yeah.
to your story and I'm imagining it's like, okay, yeah, you got the insight. You could see, you got the empathy. You can pick up on certain things. And then also you talked about how some people are like, nope, 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 not trying to. What I was reading and listening to in that, and just thinking about my own life experiences, like, well, it's not that deep, or I'm not trying to go that deep right now. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to think about this
Mhm.
right now.
Mhm.
Like, why you
Mhm.
always saying,
Mhm. Mhm.
why you always pointing this stuff out? Like, what, so
Yeah, 100%.
what were some of the things for you that helped you to begin to start to reframe that? Too sensitive? Actually, no, that means I have a deeper insight. So what were some of the things that helped you to do that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I had an amazing therapist who was able to hold that space and to understand me. Honestly, before that, I ran into several therapists who didn't understand it. Let me be very clear about naming that as well, because I know that was a big challenge. A lot of previous therapists were pathologizing, right? And that is definitely a challenge in general, but certainly for Black, gifted, and otherwise neurodivergent people, is that, again, how we show up in spaces,
Mhm.
people want to turn into this pathology, but it never sat well with me. But I was like, well, I guess this is the therapist. Like, let me be open to it. But my therapist was, again, one of the first people was like, I want you to see, what does that mean for you? And so the therapy, but also, I mean, frankly, using this, this mind that loves analogies, right? And saying, okay, I mean, I've done work in different spaces, and I'll just say that one of the things that has taken different forms, but it's like kind of the consistent underlying message is, look at your shadow thoughts, right? And then ask yourself, what's the empowering way,
Mm.
right? How do I look at that and say, okay, in a simple way, like people have heard this before, right? It's like people who think, what if everything goes wrong? And they say, well, what if it went right?
Yeah.
And so I took time and like literally wrote out a whole bunch of stuff, and it was like, okay, here's a truth, but then what's the other side of this? And doing that, that opened up my mind to be able to say, you know what? Yeah, some people, it might be too much for them. And, the last thing that I'll say really quickly is, this brings me to one of my other like mantras, which is know when to wear your hoodie. And if you haven't heard me say that before, in short, it's this mentality that, you know, I think a lot of times when we show up in places and we have these different identities, we have these different characteristics that we hold dear, we feel like the space is telling us we have to completely get rid of it. And what I say is know when to wear your hoodie. If it was 100 degrees
Yeah.
outside, I'm probably not wearing my hoodie, but I can take my hoodie off and put it in my car or keep it on my arm, because as soon as it's, fall, spring, whatever, I can throw that hoodie on and I have it with me. And so, but knowing the space that I'm in and saying, okay, this space, they can't take all of that. And I don't have to feel like I'm cutting a part of me out. I
Mm.
just know that I got to take my hoodie off.
Mhm.
And that's really the way that I think about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm listening to your story, and as you're describing that, you talked about that mind of yours, your mind. You love analogies and that, and I'm thinking like, yeah, that taps into that side that's very self-reflective and very self-aware. So as you're to
Mhm.
knowing when to wear your hoodie. So what I'm reading from that in some ways is like there's this element of also being in touch with yourself and having some sense of agency over, hey, this
Absolutely.
is this is where I need this, this is where I don't. Appreciate you sharing that.